Okay, here we are today for the third episode of our cool collaboration stay-at-home sessions. Today we have a special guest. We have Jolita from Keliauk, keistum, Lithuanian organization that we are partners with, and today she will tell us more about what will she tell us more about, Vico?
So Jolita got the topic to the project writing, but she considered that it will be really useful for some of us, and it's a really interesting one to get to know more about the Solidarity Corps, and she will explain in details what is it and what opportunities it can offer. Am I right, Jolita?
Yes, you're exactly right, Vico. So basically, as I know, you're more working on Erasmus Plus, on KA1, KA2, and sport projects. And the young people you're working with are quite well aware of the opportunities that you have. So I would like to talk today more about European Solidarity Corps because it also offers many good opportunities for young people to try them, to try voluntarily activities, to try some projects at local level, which I think might be useful for them and interesting to try. So that's what I will focus on. And of course about project writing so they can put all the ideas into practice.
Okay.
Nice.
And I guess I can start.
Yep.
Yeah, so basically I will talk about European Solidarity Corps in general, what it is, so we have the better understanding, then about specific projects which I want to introduce, which I think is really good for young people to try out, and then about project writing, how to put it on the paper, these brilliant ideas. And since there are a few of us here, do you know anything about European Solidarity Corps, some ideas what it is about, this program?
Well, okay, Vico, yes.
No, I don't know too much. As you said, I'm more focusing on key action 1, 2, and sport projects, so I didn't really have the encounter with the Solidarity Corps. I just know that maybe I'm right or no, but it was the EVS before.
Yeah, exactly.
The European Voluntary System. And it switched, but I'm not really familiar with the opportunities provided by it.
Yeah, I'm more or less at the same level. I did go to a session about it on the national agency, but still we're more focused on the Erasmus, the youth exchanges and the key action tools as well. So it's very superficial, my knowledge about that.
Okay, well then I'm happy to talk about it today. And basically, well, the name itself already suggests what it is about, European Solidarity Corps. Basically, it's about solidarity and promoting it as a value. And it focuses on the values at European level. Basically, the program has identified the principles, the core values that they want to promote in the Europe as a whole. And it's democracy, active citizenship, cohesion in the communities, in the countries, and solidarity. So basically, this is the focus, like the name, European Solidarity Corps. What we do, we promote solidarity. We promote tolerance, social inclusion, and things like that. And how you do it is basically through voluntary activities that you recognize yourself, that this is a good value, that you want to work with it, and you do some voluntarily job. And it also, well, of course, Erasmus Plus is also about doing things voluntarily, learning, creating opportunities for youth. So they're kind of related, but this one offers a little bit different activities and a little bit different focus areas. And at the same time, this program also focuses on communities at the local level. So basically what we want to address solidarity, cohesion, like as the core values for the Europe, but at the same time that they're important for the communities. So you solve the problems, some needs, something in your local area with your peers, teachers, schools, parents, friends, and so you contribute in your local level to solidarity, to democracy, to active citizenship. So basically that's the idea behind, and you do it through volunteering. So this is the main general objective of the program, which is of course related to Erasmus, but I will explain a bit in more detail the differences.
Okay.
And this program has 4 specific objectives, and well, everything that I'm talking now, it took from the program guide, which you have to read if you want to apply for the project. This is like a Bible. I do believe that you have read the Erasmus Plus guide quite a few times.
We can also share it in the comments later.
Yeah, of course, and even to write the pages down, which the parts are the most important to consider.
I also wanted to say, like, if people are watching and they want to give some questions, that we are looking at it, so we will answer them as we can. But please ask questions, because it makes it more interesting for us also.
Yeah, of course. And what I'm trying to do here is to explain the guide, because I literally took the information from the guide. So I can, because sometimes it's not that simply written there, you know, or there are some words that you, what does this mean? What does solidarity mean in the first place? Yeah, so if something is not clear to you, just feel free to ask, you know, for more clarification. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's basically the main idea. And there are 4 specific objectives of the program, which I would like to emphasize, because when you are preparing the project, you need to show that your idea is relevant to the program. I mean, you can have the most brilliant idea, but if it doesn't match with the objectives, like, oh, well, okay, it's nice, but we cannot support that. So you really, really need to consider these objectives. Yeah. And the first one is to provide young people with opportunities to engage in solidarity activities. So basically, there are some types of projects, which I will talk later, and the program aims to provide you these opportunities. So by doing the projects, you're already contributing to the goal, to this objective. So you should keep that in mind, and even to write in the application form. Then the second one is to ensure that these activities are high quality, to make sure that you are actually consider what you want to do, that you prepare the plan for what you're doing, that maybe you deliver some tangible outputs, you know, which contribute to the solidarity activities. So basically that you're doing stuff in the quality manner, and maybe this is more relevant for youth workers who engage on a little bit higher level, but also for you, for young people, to make your projects in quality manner and in a good manner, which I will talk a bit later, what makes a project quality. The third one is about inclusion, solidarity, inclusion, tolerance. So keep in mind that these projects focus on these topics mainly. And of course, as I mentioned before, that it should contribute to these core values, which is democracy, citizenship, solidarity, and cohesion. So yeah, these, well, I mean, they sound a little bit dry, what I'm telling now, but you need to consider these things. So they're like literally written in the guide. And when you do your projects, it has to match at least 1 or 2 of them. So
yeah, so basically you can't do anything you want, like it has some kind of limitations or purposes.
Oh, well, yeah, that depends on the type of the project you choose. This is what my next thing that I will talk. So basically there is volunteering, traineeships and jobs, and solidarity projects. So these 3 main activities, as in the Erasmus Plus, we have Action 1 youth exchange and training courses, Action 2 strategic partnerships, and like these things. So, sorry, in the Solidarity Corps, there's volunteering, traineeship and jobs, and solidarity projects. And of course, each of them has its limitations and eligibility criteria and so on. But I will talk more about these solidarity projects, what they are, what are the limits, and and how to apply for them, because it's a really good opportunity in my opinion. And I'm not sure if there are any questions or if anyone knows anything about solidarity projects. On
Facebook, we don't have any questions yet, but again, I'm saying that the one who is asking questions will get the information. So don't be shy, ask questions, and you'll be
bomb us with questions. It's
Yeah, okay. Well, so basically there is 3 activities: volunteering, traineeship and jobs, and solidarity projects. And the first 2 are being done by the organizations. I guess you've heard about quality label, about going to volunteer abroad for a few months, maybe up even to a year, doing some activities. Yeah, so this is one part that goes to the organizations. And the last one is solidarity projects, which are relatively new. And this can be done and should be done on advice by young people, like literally young people who take responsibility, like not organization, not some magic partner from abroad, but young. little bit more to introduce because it's really good opportunity. And basically why? Because, well, these projects, these solidarity projects are being done at local level, meaning in country. It's not international projects, but all the activities need to take place in the country that it's applied. And considering, well, nowadays realities and quarantine and all the restrictions, it looks like a very nice option how you can continue activities, trainings, learning, non-formal things, and so on. So that's one reason why I want to talk about it. Then these projects have very simplified application and management. The eligibility criteria is really simplified. There is less things that you need to have in order to apply for this project. And I remember, I think in the last training, or the volunteers, they had the chance to work with the application form of Keistum 1, maybe even Keistum 2, and they saw how they look, these pages of pages and pages. So yeah, this application is relatively simpler, with less questions, with more, less this interpretation leaving questions. And as well management, because you yourself decide on the activities that you want to do. You choose the methods how you will do it, and you do it, and that's it. I mean, there is no restriction that you have to organize X meetings, seminars, workshops. Like basically what you choose to do, this is what you do. So it's very, very nice, and it allows you to be creative and to.
Is any NGO? You need to get accreditation or?
No, that's the good thing, that basically. For these projects, young people apply themselves. They form the group of 5 people. This is the minimum number. There is no maximum. And basically one of those young people takes the responsibility as legal representative, and meaning that they're applying on his behalf, and that's it. You don't need quality label, these things. So yeah, of course you need to register online in the European Solidarity Corps page because the application is there. But other than that, that's it. Yeah, that's why I'm saying that it's a nice option, for young people.
But it's also available to NGOs or not to?
Yes, but organizations can. I mean, this is the choice of young people, that they can ask for the support of the organization to apply on their behalf. So basically, the organization would be legal representative, but still, young people are doing. All the activities. So there's 2 options. Either young people apply themselves, or they ask the organization to do it. So like a little bit support for them, but still is the young people who are doing everything, all the activities.
And do they need to be registered somewhere as a group of young people? Or?
No, they don't need, there is this specific type of registration that you put yourself as a young group people, so you don't have to do that, but you need to register in the European Solidarity Corps portal. Okay. So basically, to get that.
You can also put links to these things after.
Yeah, sure. And of course, if you have this already registered as a group of young people, you can apply it for that. It's completely fine, but it's not necessary. So again, simpler than compared to the other programs.
Okay.
So basically a little bit covered what is Solidarity Project. So yeah, the idea is that it's in-country activity, that you don't have international partners. You do it mostly at local and regional level. Depends on the activities national, but you don't have any partners from abroad. You don't travel abroad. You don't have any of these kind of things. So well, this is smaller project, smaller activity, but as I'm saying, in the times of now when we are not allowed to travel, it's a really great option to implement and to continue actually working on the youth.
And to help out as well.
Yeah, of course. So, and the good thing that the deadline is on the 1st of October, so there is enough time to work on the idea and to prepare the projects and start implementing them. So what else in the eligibility criteria is there? So minimum 5 people, 5 young people participants. They have to be 18 years old at least, up to 30, and there is no maximum number. So the more the better, or not necessarily, depends what you want to do. Activities are taking place in the country, and the project Sorry?
All of them have to be 18 or just the legal representative?
There is only one legal representative, and then in the application form, you need to identify at least 5 young people. Could be more. These ones have to be 18. But but not necessarily have to identify, you can involve people which are not mentioned in the application form, and for them, you don't have the age limit.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, so basically the ones that are mentioned in the application form have to be 18, but the others can be younger. The project duration is from 2 to 12 months. So basically, depending on what you want to do, you have to choose the activities. Yeah, and that's...
Just for a second, Nandi raised his hand.
Okay.
Yes, just a quick question. I heard it somewhere that you can still apply if you're under 18, but you cannot participate.
Yes, that's a very actually good question, and I wanted to mention it at some point. That yes, you can apply when you're 17, but for different projects from volunteering. Basically, there is a system that you register, and by registering there, you are claiming that you're looking for volunteer positions to go somewhere abroad. And for that, you need to be 18 years old. You can register when you're 17 and look for the opportunities, maybe to arrange something and go when you're 18. So yeah, so
I think this relates to the question that Ognian made in the group, in the comments, which is if you can explain, or do you like briefly how people can register on that portal, or I don't know if it's something you are very
I'm not too much familiar with that, because I haven't done it actually, because I have all the registrations I need to do so. If I want to apply, I have it as my organization, but I guess, basically there is one legal representative who needs to do that. So you have to decide among these 5 people, at least 5 people who will do it. And being for sure 18 years old, but I don't want to talk something which is not true, which I'm not exactly sure. So I can, basically there is even a guide saying how to register, like instructions step by step. So I can share that.
Yeah, we can find it and share it also in the comments.
Yes, so not to make some confusion.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not too complicated procedure, so...
Okay. One more thing to add.
Yes, that's good. Is there any more questions or comments maybe by this time?
From Facebook, no. Yeah, nothing's complicated if you know how to do it.
That's very true. And in this case, I think I already covered the eligibility criteria. So it's the age, minimum 5 people, and it has to happen in your country that you're applying to, and that's it. And you choose the activities want you to do, you choose the topic. Of course, it has to be related, but yeah. And the deadline, once again, it's the 1st of October. So there is quite a few months to prepare for the activities.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, so basically when you're preparing this solidarity project, what you have to consider is not only your idea, what you want to do with that, of course, the most important thing, but refer to the values, to the principles and the objectives that I mentioned about. This is very important because, as I mentioned before, you may have the most brilliant idea, but if it doesn't match with what European Solidarity Corps is aiming for, well, sorry, go look somewhere else. So that's very important. Very important is that you actually address something that is relevant for your community and your country, because it's in-country activities, and that it's non-formal learning of you, that you are actually young people doing it and learning at the same time. So this, I would like to, I know I'm repeating myself, but just to emphasize that these things are very important to put on the paper, because, well, if you have it only in your head and not on the paper, it will not work. Also, the budget is very simple because there is 3 categories. And basically, the first one is project management and implementation. It's unit cost, and you get money per month. So if you have 2 months, you will get one sum. If you have 12 months, you'll have bigger sum. So basically, you have the activities for every month, and you have the sum for a month. It's 500 euros. And that's it. You don't have to make some calculations, decide how many people you involve, and that will depend. It's simple as that. So basically, and it counted automatically, of course, in the application form. Then the good thing is that you may have a coach in these projects, basically a youth worker, teacher, some more experienced person who will help you. And again, you can ask for a budget for it. So you don't have to spend the money from the project management, and you can have a support because, well, it might be the first project that the young people are doing, and it's good to have more experienced person. So yeah, this project also covers the coach cost. Of course, you have to explain why you need that person to identify it.
And as far as I heard, it needs to be external as well to the host organization or something like this, no? Maybe
no, not necessarily. No, not necessarily. In these projects,
okay.
For example, it could be that young people are asking organization to apply on their behalf, and the coach is from that organization.
Okay.
Yeah, so it could be, of course, there's limitations that it's only for 12 days, and the coach is being paid per day. So you cannot have it like for full 12 months, but for example, you can have a coach for a few trainings, for some workshops, maybe some preparation activities. Yes, of course, it's not the whole time, but yeah, just a little bit. And there is exceptional cost. And this could be anything you need for your project. But in these Solidarity Corps, the Solidarity projects, it's mostly about participation of young people facing fewer opportunities. So I don't know if you have young people who are facing, I don't know, severe economical difficulties that come from families with social security. I don't know, you can cover bus tickets for them, food for the seminars that they're still the whole day and stuff like that. So it's also possible, depending on your community, of the people involved in your idea, that you can ask for more support if you need to. Yeah, and so the budget is quite simple compared to the other projects. But that's one more good thing why I like the Solidarity project so much.
There is one question or comment from Christoph. It's pretty long, so I'm going to read it and hope it makes sense, but looks like yes.
Okay.
So, he says, my friends tried to apply for Solidarity projects this February without an NGO. They met every criteria, but the national agency didn't let them apply until they named an NGO to handle money and legal responsibilities. So while on paper it should work without NGO, it doesn't always work.
Well, as written in the guide, it should not be that way because it's young 5 people who can apply it. And as I'm working in Lithuania, national agency as well, it's completely fine that 5 people are applying themselves. But it could be simply different policies of different organizations. Maybe they have some bad experience that young people cannot handle the responsibilities, and they decided that it's better for them like this. So yeah, it could differ depending on the national agencies. And in this case, what I would suggest is to contact the national agency and ask them, is it okay if you're applying as 5 people, or should we better do it as the organization? And national agencies are really happy to help and to give guidance, answer questions. So yeah, just to avoid it, just in case, it could be a good idea to ask the national agency what they prefer, and their rules depend on that country. So
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and well, anyway, it's decentralized action. So, and this is what national agencies are for, to do as best in their country, in their realities. So it could be, and it's the same with Erasmus and youth exchanges and training courses and other projects that.
Yeah, their interest is for good projects to exist also. So.
Yeah, of course. So it could be some things there. So basically this is in a nutshell about the Solidarity Corps projects, not Solidarity Corps, Solidarity projects, what they are about, and like that it's really simplified version of the bigger projects, and it's a really good starting point in my opinion, before going big. So to try yourself, to try your community, to try your friends, if you can work together and to apply for bigger projects, because all the people want to do stuff when they talk about it, but when you have to do, it's different. So yeah, it's just a nice idea, you know, to go before you're going big. And if there is no more questions, I will go to project writing. It's not even going to be project writing, but basically how to formulate your idea. And it's not only for solidarity projects, but in general, like how to, I don't know, structure the thoughts that you have in your head, so it makes sense for you, for the evaluators, and for everyone. So if there is no questions, I should continue now.
No more questions from here.
Yeah, so, and just about these solidarity projects, we will put the guide, and it's very, even there it's simplified written, all the rules, everything that I'm talking, so you can read. I think I heard something, but maybe it's from the outside, sorry. Doesn't matter. I thought there was a question, I guess it's in my head. So basically, project writing. This, what I'm going to talk, is relevant for all the projects. It's the basic bone of the project. And if you have it, then you can put the idea on the paper much, much easier. And it covers 5 main questions that you have to answer for yourself, that you have to discuss with your partners, other young people. And if you agree on them, if you honestly answer all these things and put them on the paper maybe even, then it's easier to write the application form. And these 5 questions are basically, you have to answer to yourself what you want to do, to identify why you want to do it, the project, how you're going to do it, and what results you will have, and what impact your project will have. And that's it. So basically these 5 things, and if you answer them in, I don't know, few sentences, 2 paragraphs, and if everything makes sense, you already have the idea, you have structured the idea, and when you're writing the application form, it will help you. So now I will explain shortly every single one of them, because this is, I'm working with the projects, I'm working with Keliauk, Keliauk 2 sports project with this solidarity corps, and this is what I use myself. And I find it useful, so that's why I would like to share it in more detail. Yes, so the first one is what? This is as simple as it can be. What do you want to do? That's increased tolerance. I don't know, raise interculturality, raise inclusion of fewer opportunities of young people living in rural areas. Maybe raise inclusion of minorities if you live in the community like this. Yeah, so that's it. I mean, just one sentence. What do you want to do? And here I would suggest to be specific and realistic, because if you will say something like, we want to increase solidarity. You have read that this is general objective, and well, this is what we want to do. It's like, okay, but this is not enough. Everybody wants to do that. Everyone who's applying wants to increase, to contribute to solidarity. So you have to be a bit more specific and describe your community. You know that we want to increase solidarity because we have minorities, you know, in our town, and well, some of them don't speak local language, and we have some miscommunication at school. We have divided like in the group, something like this. So yeah, be specific and realistic. And it's important to understand that, well, you're not going to save the world with these projects, just your community. So again, decide what you want to do and do it for yourself, for your friends, for your peers, for the teachers, for the schools, for depending what you want to do with the project. And of course, be conscious time-wise that what you want to do, because the duration of this project is from 2 months to 2 to 12 months. So if you want to do just one workshop, it's not enough. If you want to develop 3 books, maybe it's too much. So be conscious what you want to do for your community and choose the time accordingly, so you actually are capable to do it. So yeah, so basically that's the first thing, simply to identify what you want to do. That's 1 sentence, maybe 2 sentences. And I would suggest to write it down, so when you see it, it's actually better. And should I ask them if people have questions, or you will wave to me somehow that stop talking and answer questions?
I'm checking, but I cannot see questions.
That's, okay, I can talk. I don't mind talking.
Costing like the value.
We will interrupt you when we have
of course.
questions.
If you... Yeah, so basically I will keep talking, and if you have something, just tell me to shut up for a second.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's, well, the first thing, what you want to do, one sentence. Then the second thing, you have to identify why you want to do it. Because there need to be some reason, there needs to be some need in your community why you want to do something. And this why, it has to be relevant for your community. If, for example, you say that you want to raise inclusion of migrants, but you live in the end of the world and the community of 1,000 people, and you haven't seen a single refugee or migrant for years, like, why this project is relevant for you? Well, it's not. So why do you want to do it? Like, what value it will have? Like, okay. But for example, if for the same community, you will say that you want to increase tolerance and self-confidence of young people who live in these distant areas, because, well, they need to study in the big cities, they lack self-confidence, they lack sense of initiative, they're like afraid to travel. Now, that makes sense. So be very conscious what you want to do, and that if you have the reasons, the need why you want to do it, that it's relevant for you and for your peers and for your, because this is one of the core principles of the European Solidarity Corps, that it's one of these solidarity projects that they are on the community, on the people living there, and to bring some positive change for them and to their reality and daily life, and not to something, it's okay, it's very relevant, refugees at the moment or something like that, but if it's not relevant for you, it will not happen.
So it should have a local scope of something.
Yes.
Okay.
Basically, these projects should have these local realities, as you said, local scope, which should be related to the core values of the program. Solidarity, tolerance, democracy, and things. Yes, but the main focus is on your realities and your community. Yeah, correct. Then the next step, once you know what you want to do and you have clear reasons why you want to do it, you have to identify how you're going to do it, who will do it, when you will do it. And to answer these questions, what activities you will organize, if you will do workshops, seminars, if you will visit some local authorities, if you will go to next villages or towns around. So yeah, basically, and be very careful that what are you planning to do, these activities are actually relevant for your topic, for your need. Because if you want to, raise sense of initiative and confidence and solidarity about rural youth, but you are going to organize, breakdancing competitions because, well, it's cool, it's nice, it's dancing. It's not relevant to each other. Like, okay, it's cool. Dancing and inclusion is maybe somehow, it's a good method, but it's not for your topic, and it's not for your, it will not change anything. So be very cautious that your activities are actually corresponding to the need, to the target group, if it's going to be young people, if it's going to be maybe elderly, people who are in the retirement already in your community and are struggling with something. So that basically you choose the activities which matches the topic and it matches the target group. So that's the first thing to consider. Then timeline, the project, the duration, it's from 2 to 12 months. So even in the application form, it's being asked, what are you going to do through your chosen duration? So basically you have to plan your activities, to distribute them for the months, and to justify why you need 12 months and not 6 months. So just simply, what you want to do, you will do once a week, once a month, any frequency as you wish, but basically you have to be conscious time-wise, because if you will decide to organize 3 meetings, but you choose 12 months, it's it's not going to work, because what you will do the other months. Yes, so that's another very important thing to consider. Then in this question, also these 5 people, as I mentioned before, you need at least 5 people for this project to identify them. So you have to describe their profile a bit, their interests, their experience, as well as what they're going to do. Because this is young people doing the project, doing the activities. So the more specifically you describe what these young people are going to do, how they will do it, the better it is. And there is the reason why you need to identify those people, so you already assign the responsibilities for them. And basically, before the project, you have to really talk to each other and to discuss what you will do, how you will do, who will do this, who will do that, so you can put it on the project and then implement it. So that's another important thing to consider. And it's also good to identify some stakeholders, if there is any. And by stakeholders, this fancy word, I mean some schools, for example, youth centers, maybe some local authorities that maybe the school will give you the classroom to do some workshops. Maybe if you have a youth center, they will give the room to do some workshops. So yeah, if relevant for your project, basically, if someone is going to help you, you can completely write that, because this all contributes to the quality of your project, that you're not alone, that you have people, that you thought it through and it makes sense, and that you will actually do it. Yeah, so this is also a very important part of the project, to justify your activities. So we covered by now 3, why, how, now what, why, and how. And can I go further?
Because we have any more questions, or?
No, not at all. So maybe they are shy, or you are explaining really well.
Yes, of course. That's how it, project writing, this is how it works. Yes, so yeah, but this is the, as I mentioned, the backbone which you start to, for any project. If you identify these areas, it's easier to fill in the application form. Yeah, so to continue, once you know what you want to do, why you are doing it, and you know how you will do it, you can go to the results. Basically, what your project will achieve. And here you should divide it in 2 parts, tangible and intangible. And I will explain what this fancy word means. So basically, tangible results is 10 meetings you organized, 100 people you involved, 25 being fewer opportunities. You organized the 2 workshops which had 5 follow-up dissemination activities. So basically, you created video, maybe some vlogs, maybe you streamed online. So basically, what you did with your project, and you have to measure it. And when you are saying what you're going to do, like how you're going to do these activities, workshops, seminars, meetings, everything, you plan it, and this is your results. So basically, this is your tangible results, which you have to foresee. And it's not too difficult to do that once you have, the project timeline. These few months, you decided that the first month we will have 2 workshops, then the second month we will have 10 follow-up activities of these workshops, then we will have meetings in the other towns, like 3 meetings in villages around to present what we did. And basically you take out these numbers, and this is your tangible results of the project, what you should put there. And then there is intangible results, and this is relates to your non-formal learning, which is very important in Erasmus Plus, in European Solidarity Corps in general. So what you did, you increased tolerance, cultural awareness, you increased your sense of initiative, you learned some methods about inclusion. Basically, these things, what you learned and what you gave to the community are intangible results. And in the application form, you need to be able to identify it. Because if you know what you want to do, you know why you want to do it, you also should be able to foresee what the results you will have from that. So this is one of the, again, very important parts of the project. And if, the more specific you are, the better it is, because you are actually showing that you thought things through and that you know what you're doing, what you want to achieve, and that, the structure of project goes like that. And the last part that you need to consider is impact. again, you are not doing your project just for fun. Of course, it's also fun. It's nice. It's a cool thing to do, but it has the more important reason. It's doing something good, doing positive change in your community, among your friends, in your school. So you have to imagine what impact, what beautiful future your project will create. And here, try to be very realistic, try to relate to your communities, what you can actually change there. And the impact should go on a few different levels. So the first one is on you, on the participants, on the people who unfold the activities, who implement the project, what impact will be on you. Because it cannot go that you do the project for 1 year and you will be unchanged. So if you increased your social entrepreneurship skills, if you raised your self-confidence, project management, communication, teamwork, so these things, what your project is about and what it gave to you. It's very important. It's your non-formal learning way and you have to describe it. Another thing is a target group. Your project is aimed at someone, that there is needs that you're addressing and there is people for who you are doing the project, for yourself and for someone else. So what impact do you imagine on them? If it's, as we talked before, inclusion of rural youth, of people living in villages, that it could be something like they will change the perspective, how they think about life in village. They will increase their sense of initiative. They will not be afraid to go to bigger cities and things like this. So why you're doing your project and what you imagine it will do good. And of course, on the community itself, you will raise the awareness about Erasmus, about European Solidarity Corps, involve more people, of course, increase solidarity among the people, understanding and things like this. So basically impact on you, on target group and on the community. And at the same time, when you do something small in your community, on your people, you are contributing to the overall values of the European Solidarity Corps. So by doing little things in your community, you are creating added values at European level as well. So that's how it works. And that's basically it. You have a good idea, you know how to describe it, not only in your head, but also putting it on paper. You make sure that it matches the objectives of the program. And that's it. You create a good application which is being approved. Easy as that.
Cool.
Actually, I have a question. Because
Okay.
once one man told me that I need to focus on my results, what I want to achieve, and based on that, I need to decide how and when and what I have to do to achieve that result. So do you do it in this order all the time when you are thinking about or putting together your ideas, or would you recommend sometimes to switch the order?
Well, I guess it depends on the topic, what you are doing, and if you really know these things go like in some kind of flow, because you cannot imagine the results if you don't know what you want to do in the first place. So if you see the results, then to plan the activities, well, that could also work. I guess it's the preference. If you actually identify the results, I guess that could work. I personally don't do that. For me, especially in the project writing, for me, it's better to have the activities which will help me to reach the results, and then not the results and then the activities. So, but I guess, it's a preference for the people, and it could be switched if it makes more sense for you. And especially if you know very, very specific results, if you are tackling specific problem in your community, and if you really, really have some specific idea, then it could be done that way. That's,
Or maybe when you have the idea in all the parts, you have a specific level on your mind that what's going to happen or how or when. But when you put it on a paper like this, like you said, maybe it's like clarifies in your head a little bit more, and you'll be able to identify everything more specifically.
Yes, of course. And it also happens for me that when you put it on the paper, you let it rest for a few days, you read it again, and it doesn't make sense. It doesn't connect, like, why would they do this to achieve that? Like, so of course it helps to clarify in your head, and it sometimes helps you to see things that doesn't make sense, because in your head, things work well because you assume what you want to assume. but when you see just, pure paper and few sentences, and you give some time. So yeah, for me, it's a really good method to clarify things
and to share it and to have other people also.
Yeah, of course. Of course. And anyway, it has to be cooperation of few people.
Yeah.
Of young people, and they have to agree on it, so it's very good. It even could be that they have general idea what they want to do, but they write it separately, these parts, how they imagine the project would go, and then they combine it together. So you actually have equal input from everyone and everyone's ideas.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a nice way to capture everyone's insights.
Okay, thank you. And actually, if you apply these methods to your everyday life, it could be helpful as well, not just when it comes to project writing.
Yes, of course. For me, I have every day to-do list, I think, what I want to do today and how I will do it. So yeah, that could work. And as I told you, this is not only for solidarity projects, it's for it could go for the very big projects that, when you have in your head what you want to do, why and how you will do it, then you just need to elaborate. And the questions in the application form actually suggest you how to elaborate on everything, which are a good thing. Mm-hmm. And this solidarity project application form is, as I mentioned, relatively short. It's I think 10 questions or something like this. So it's nothing scary to try.
That's cute.
Yes, it is. And it's actually in national language. So you don't even have to fill it in English if you feel that it's not on such a good level. So it's completely on your national language.
I actually invited some, I don't know if they're already on the call, but I know some of our friends that have participated in European Solidarity Corps projects. So I don't know if they're already online, Ogi and Mario, maybe not. But later they will come and also share their experience a bit.
Oh, yeah, that's very nice. I think they were in the volunteering project, no?
Yeah, I think so. The bigger ones, I think.
Yeah. So it's volunteering. Well, it's also a very nice experience to do after school, to take a gap year. Not even after, you can do it in summer for a few months. It's not necessarily that you take a full year. So it's a really nice experience. And
but
I heard
just
only
giving
positive.
a heads up that they will join soon.
Okay, meanwhile arrived.
Okay.
But you can go on, Jolita,
So I just wanted to say that it's very nice opportunity. And yes, as Nandi asked before, for this, you need to be 18 years old to actually go to the project, but you can register before. So it's completely fine because, again, you need to register as a person in the European Solidarity Corps platform, but you can do it already by being 17 to start looking for opportunities for what you want to do. Maybe have country in mind for some reason or the activity and start arranging things. And once you're 18, you can already go. So that's very correct remark.
Mm-hmm.
And all these things. Yeah. And for this volunteering projects, traineeships and jobs, you need quality label. This is the organizations are doing that. And you need to have that one, which is not too difficult procedure to get it, but it needs to be done. Just to keep that in mind.
Okay. You want to go on, or should we ask Ogi?
If they're here, we can ask to share some insights.
Okay.
So hello everybody.
Hi.
Hey.
What's up?
I talked to Mario. He will join a bit later. So what I would like to share, and it's an amazing thing, is the EVS program. It's formerly it was I'm not sure how it was called, but it was
formerly it was EVS. Now it's
So before it was EVS, now it's European Solidarity Corps.
ESC, yeah.
So actually, fun fact: I was the first person to be European Solidarity Corps participant in Romania ever in history.
That's cool.
Nice.
So without having said,
we have some famous people here.
So with that being said, yes. So I was in Romania for a bit shorter than a year because so basically I applied to this program. Basically I was not volunteering, but I was participating in this project with an organization from Romania. It was very interesting. We basically had the whole point of the project was actually to bring to kids from rural areas in the central Romania the idea of Erasmus, the idea of volunteering, non-formal education. So we had a chance to organize different workshops, to give them presentations on this, give them a little bit of taste of how it is. So for them actually to facilitate, participate, think of their own activities. But yeah, besides that, let's say formal part, I would say it's a great experience, a great chance, because basically, like Jolita said, anybody who is over 18 has a chance to go and live for a certain time in another country.
How I would people say from other countries as well, no?
Yes, exactly. So we had so besides those type of activities we had, so it's you have different meetings. So one is basically kickoff meeting or kickoff training, and then there's a midterm. So kickoff is basically you go there and it's like a typical, I would say, training course.
But this is for all volunteers being in that country, right?
Yes. So this is what I want to say. So basically, I mean, it's for all.
I think it's huge.
So it's for all volunteers that started their volunteering in a certain period. So, for example, when I was there, there was people who were already on their EVS or ESC for like 2 months. And we were there for maybe 1 week or something when we were there. So basically, they give you a rundown on Erasmus Programme. They teach you a bit of Romanian in our case. They teach you about traditions. We do some team building. And you get to, so for example, when I was there, there was, I think, 89 people from 17 or 18 countries. Wow. And we were in this, so basically it was so many people that we had to be like in few different hotels. It was very nice. Mm-hmm. Some participants, I wasn't in that situation, but some participants which were in the other hotel, they got like, I don't know how to explain it. It was like they had rooms that are apartments, 100 square meters apartment. It was huge.
Okay, got lucky.
But yeah, but for us, for example, you could say that we are in a bit of rural Romania. So it wasn't like we had so much time to meet like people who are outside of our project. But you go to Bucharest and have fun for like, I think it was 7 days. All in all, it was amazing. And I would say that the biggest outtake of my experience with Erasmus in this specific case is like, now if I want to go to a country, I know one person from most of European countries. I could just like, I want to come there. And I have a person who will help me out there, guide me and show me around.
For a coffee, have dinner.
Yes.
When you were volunteering, there was few of you, like, or you were the one in the
Yes, exactly. So when I was volunteering, so there was one girl from Estonia, one guy from Hungary, and me, and a guy from France. Mm-hmm. So we were there together, and basically we're sharing the flat. So basically what we got, and this is not the case for everybody. So I know that some organizations, for example, have few EVS projects running in parallel, and they have, for example, they get a house, and it's like house with 20 mm-hmm. people that are doing their EVS or ESC, and it's nice experience. And literally, for example, I grew up in the capital city, and I lived my whole life there, so you could say that I didn't have the proper university experience because I went to the biggest university. And I think that this is something that is I would suggest for everybody to do that once everything is over, and
Like
if you have a chance,
move away from home for a while and experience other things.
Not even that. Like I think that even, for example, for me, I wouldn't go and permanently live in one country.
I mean to try that out, like it's a good opportunity.
But this is an amazing experience that basically you can go, and also you get some pocket money, you get money for food, your rent is paid, you have in bigger cities where there is like public transport, you get your transport paid, so basically you can go around city wherever you want. You get health insurance that is free, and some people say the best in Europe, because you have basically everything covered.
Okay.
You even have, for example, because you have this option, you can take and ask for some days off. For example, you decide to go to some other country in Europe. If the organization is okay with that, you go there, and for example, something happens, or like you have I don't know, you have teeth pain. Even this is covered. So this is very good. So you're covered all around Europe. And not only in Europe. Because I'm from Serbia, so I had even healthcare in Serbia covered by this system. Yeah. Maybe I will remember something, but or if there any other question comes up, maybe I can answer. I will
also, if people have questions for Augie, we won't stay here for much longer. But
but what I wanted to add is the ESC portal that I wanted to mention. So if there's anybody who would at some point like to do that, doesn't know when or doesn't have any idea where to apply, this ESC portal is an amazing thing, and it's the way that it's set up. You go there, fill out the profile, meaning your age, your education, the country you're from, what topics you're interested in, and any organization that organizes an ESC project, they will put in certain parameters, the people that they want in their project, and if you fall into some of those categories, there's a high chance that they will send you out an email and say, hey, we would like to invite you. So it's a very transparent system in a way that it's very easy to get invited. And I know that even though, for example, I finished my participation in that project, I keep getting emails. And so I would like.
That's because you were the first in Romania.
Yeah, I would invite people to take cautious of what they accept, because you can go to ESC and EVS projects only once in a lifetime. Okay. So this is something that is worth mentioning. But yeah, I'm gonna leave a link in the description in the comment, and people can go and fill in, and it's very, very easy, very intuitive, and it's very high chance that you're invited. Even though you're not thinking of going, you can just decline this offer or accept it.
Okay.
We can ask now Mario.
Yeah, hello Mario.
Hey.
Hello.
How are you doing, Mario?
He's not talking.
Can you hear me?
Now we can.
Okay.
It's okay? Okay.
Say hello to the world.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
My name is Mario, and I'm from Estonia. And I am also currently on a European Solidarity Corps project. Actually, in the same city where Ognian was doing his, but I started a little bit later when he finished already. And I'm also here for 1 year, and my project is outdoors solidarity. And the main goal for the project is to promote the outdoor activities to high school students, and also some classes from middle school. And we had to make kind of a booklet with 40 different activities, and after that we arranged meetings with different schools in Harghita County in Romania, and we went to visit all these schools in small villages somewhere in the cities. So it was really cool to see the rural areas and travel around the countryside and see like places where you wouldn't normally wouldn't get, and do those activities with them, and introduce more about Erasmus and also the European Solidarity Corps.
Okay.
And yeah, I would like to add also to Ognen that yeah, if I've talked to a lot of high school students who don't know what to do, maybe they're not sure about what they want to study, and I really would recommend to think about this opportunity, because it helps you a lot to visit the world, to see around a little bit, to meet new people, and for sure you will get some great ideas from here, and experiences that will guide you in the future. And I think it would be easier for you to decide. And yeah, and also Ognen said that you can do it only once, but there are two options actually. You can also do a short term. If you don't want to spend the whole year, you can come for a couple of months to see how you like it, if it suits for you. And after that, you're also allowed to, basically you will have like 12 months, and you can come first like for 3 months, and after that for 9 months, if you want to do another one.
But with the same.
I'm not sure about if you can do it with the same organization or the same country, but
Okay.
What it is
Could
that
be different, I think.
yeah, if you can basically do it in a way that, for example, you go somewhere, you like it so much, decide to go to the same one, or say, okay, I will spend 3 months, but it's a bit too much, and then, for example, go to another city, country, organization, whatever you decide.
So basically, you can do it for a maximum of 12 months.
Yes.
Okay, but you can.
Yeah, this is the same idea for example, when you're doing Erasmus in university, that you go to study abroad. It's the same, that you can go for the full year to one country, or you can distribute for half semester, like half a year, one semester to one country, another. So basically, that's the idea, that you have 12 months, and you can choose how to use them.
Mm-hmm. But as long as I know, with this ESC, you have to go first on the shorter one, and then you can go on alone.
That I'm not sure.
No, it doesn't have to be. So you can basically go either decide, so it's a bit complex, and I would suggest people to read about it a bit. I'm not 100%. I mean, I'm pretty much sure, but it's like I'm not 100% sure. So maybe there's something changed. I don't want to lie to people. But how it is, for example, you can do and see. You have an opportunity to go to, I don't know, you can go to Austria for 4 months. In this case, if you commit to a long-term ESC, which is long-term ESCs or EVS is longer than 3 months. So you can commit for 4 months, and in this case, you do not have a right to go for another one to go up to 12 months.
You can do another short term. When you go for 4 months, you can do another short term, but not the long term. So long term is from 9 months, and if you do 4 months, then you can go another like short term for another like 3-4 months or something. And
you can
also
probably find an official explanation in the website as well.
Seems like we don't have the most accurate information, and not everybody is 100% sure now. So just make sure you need to read it again.
But you were saying, Mario, you were going to say something.
Yeah, and the second thing that the ESC actually allows to do right now is you can do actually 2 long-term volunteering if you do the first one in your home country. Okay. So if you're from Estonia and you do the first one in Estonia, you can do another one in a foreign country. So we have a volunteer right over here right now who is from Romania, and he will be able to do another one in a different country
abroad.
if he wants.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Or change the name.
What was the question? Or
nothing.
No, but it is a true, as far as I heard, it's a true case where somebody actually went for EVS, liked it so much, decided to change their name so they could do it again.
I heard these rumors as well. This is what I'm saying.
Change the name like officially, you mean?
Yes.
Oh my.
You know him as well, Rui.
I do?
That's commitment.
Okay.
That's how good it
maybe I
is.
don't want to know. To be honest.
Let's keep it in private then.
True enthusiast.
Interesting.
Is there any questions you would like to ask about?
I
Yes.
actually wanted to ask, but you said that you're going to rural areas, to some small towns and villages, and how people are reacting to foreigners, how they are like about the program itself.
I had
Are
the
they
same
interested
question.
or?
Yeah.
Okay.
What I've noticed is that people in the villages they take us in more openly. Like they are very happy to see that they're getting some kind of attention, that somebody's interested in coming there, and they're always really interested. And the students are also very active. They are working with us together, and also there is a opportunity if you're going to these places that you can get the translator with you. So we had a person with us who was translating everything from English to either Hungarian or Romanian, because in Harghita there's also a big number of Hungarian people. So it depended on the school. We also had, but we had also a Romanian guy, so he was translating into Romanian, and if we needed Hungarian translation, then we had. But yeah, we had very warm welcome always, and students were always happy to see us, and it was a really nice experience.
Yeah, normally when you go to these smaller villages, people are, I don't know, they bring you food or they bring you other stuff, to drinks or something like that, and it's always an event, I guess. From the experience I have, I don't know if it was the same with you, but especially in that region of Harghita, I've also been, and it's normally like that.
Yeah, people are very welcome here.
Yeah.
It's like really nice.
Okay.
But also, like, I don't know, there have been like kind of bad experiences, like especially in the cities, where like maybe the information that we're coming has stuck somewhere, so that some teachers don't know that we're coming, and then there have been some problems. But overall, it's overall it's really nice experience, and I'm really happy that I decided to take this year and come here.
Okay. And how are you doing with being there during this period?
Yeah, it's a little bit hard. Of course, we're not able to go to schools or anything, but we have some tasks that we can do. And also, for me, it will end end of summer, but for the two others, it's already ended, but they cannot get back to their countries, so they are waiting for the borders to open.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds complicated.
Yeah.
But okay. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, and if anybody who is watching has any questions, then feel free to ask.
Checking, but no questions yet.
Okay, but I think it's all from me, and good luck with the rest.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mario.
Thank you.
It was nice to hear from you. I don't know, Jolita, did you have more prepared?
No, basically I covered everything what they wanted. I guess we will share this stuff, the links that we said. And I just wanted to say that if some people have questions later on or some ideas and not sure how to proceed, that they can always approach any of your organizations and to get in contact with me or anything. So just don't be afraid, and we're here to support. So
that's absolutely correct. I don't know if any of the other people that are in the call want to say something. I think from the comments we don't have anything else.
No, we don't. Nandi and Sandra, if you have something to add or say or ask, it's your turn now. I'm even gonna unmute you so you can know.
I'm thinking of what.
Okay.
I don't have anything in mind, except maybe one thing, but Mario had already left. That what happens to the people who are stuck in the country? I mean, are they still getting pocket money from
Uh,
opinion?
I am not sure how it is with other organizations, but yeah, like we are like kind of taking care of everyone, and like nobody's here like starving or anything.
Yeah, of course.
So the food is still provided, everything, accommodation is still free. So like doing the best to keep everyone happy. So, but I have no idea how it is. I haven't talked with other people from other organizations, so I cannot answer from the whole situation.
You can also do a plug to the organization you're doing it at if you want. Just tell us the name if you want to advertise them.
Yes, I'm volunteering for organization called Young Europe Society. I think some of the viewers have participated on their youth exchanges, maybe. Or
yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I guess we're 1 hour something in. Nobody else has nothing to say. I would say we'll
I
see.
think Sandra raised the hand, but
okay.
I unmuted her before, but
yes, I have no questions, but I just wanted to say to Jolita that I'm really fascinated about all of this because from my perspective, it's a really hard work, and you really have to pay attention to every little detail. But I guess that's why not everyone can do it.
well, it's just you have to sit down and do it. That's it. You have to think through and do it. So, but yeah, of course, you noted very correctly that you have to.
Yeah, but also if it is accessible for anyone, for everyone, like just like it's more about motivation and wanting actually to do the work, and also us like youth workers, the organizations, we're all available to help you out if you have ideas and if you want to implement projects, not only the Solidarity Corps but also with youth exchanges or youth exchanges basically, I guess. It's that's what we're here for. So, and nobody is born knowing how to do something, so we are here also to teach.
Yep.
So
improve your skills. You know where to look for the opportunity.
So yeah, if you have ideas, just contact us. Like, yeah, basically that's our purpose. So.
Yeah, sure, it's good to know.
Yeah. I think from me it's everything. Tomorrow we will have a session on financial education with Libor,
Petra and Bimbi.
Bimbi. Petra I think will not be joining, but Libor and Bimbi, yes. And a friend of Libor, Daniel, I think. So join us tomorrow at 7. It was a pleasure to have you here, Jolita. Thank you very much. I think it was very informative. Yeah, that will be it for me. Bye.
Bye bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Goodbye.